Good morning. おはようございます、皆さん。How are you all doing? 上白大使 the translator here. Well, good morning to another translation stream. Yay! まあ、いつものことなんですけど。It's the usual. We know the drill by now. Know the rules, and so do I.Okay, I clearly did not prepare this morning. Alright, let's go. Oh wait, no, I don't do this for this series. And title and Times New Roman. Is there a way to make it that Times New Roman is my default font? Is there? I don't want to change the language. Is there now? I don't know. Preferences. No. Substitute. No, that's not it. It's not it. I don't know. And I don't know why I'm speaking with a British accent. I feel like my accent is all over the place, isn't it? This is not font. I don't know how to set it up. Nah. Hey flippers. Hey Scrump. I think you just click on it without having typed anything. I don't know. What does that mean? I don't know. Anyways, chapter 12. Go to... Let's bring this thing over. Go to combined sewer is definitely not what we're talking about. It's probably joining up, I think. Joining up. Or joining forces. There we go. Because this is probably going to be talking about Mikio-chan meeting up with Shigeji, because he's a janitor. He's a school janitor, but he's not just a janitor, right? Hey Krillin, evening for you, but good morning. Well, good evening to you too. You know, I used to have the greeting where I would go like good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. But since when did I stop doing that? I should probably do that again. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it weird? Alright, well, well, let's get started. Well, I mean, before we get started, let's do a little review, right? Of the last chapter that we released last Saturday. So we ended. This was the chapter 11, where was it Mikio-chan and Ebina, the teacher, sort of followed the terrorist to a room, and the terrorist knocked the teacher out. And he seems to have caught, and Ebina seems to have caught sight of Mikio-chan using her shadows. Alright, so that's where we left off, and where we're gonna pick up. Good stuff. Hi. Mikio-chan はすでに世界の闇と何度かやり合い、日本人がめったに経験しない命がけの戦いという状況に慣れている。教室に閉じ込め、本性をむき出したテロリスト君に素早く反応し対応できたのはそのおかげだろう。完璧に不意をつかれたエビセンとは格が違う。ちょっと疑ってたしね。だから教室の照明スイッチ入れて影や能力を使いやすくしていたんだろうし。Okay. Bye now. Mikio-chan had fought against World Shadows. Let's go. Had a few encounters with World Shadows. and was used to fighting with her life on the line, something that most Japanese people never experienced. Got to experience. Okay, let's break this down. Hi. So, すでに means so again it's single translation is it's always just grouping things together, right? Sort of like a puzzle, right? So, みきおちゃんはすでに世界の闇と何度かやり合い。みきおちゃん has already the shadows of the world several times fought. So we rearrange it so it's just by now. Mikio-chan had sort of fought. So I didn't want to use the word fight because we were going to use it again in the rest of the sentence. So let's say she has had a few encounters, right? Nandoka means several times, right? So several, a few. Encounters with world shadows. So that's world shadows. 日本人めったに経験しない命かけの戦い. So fighting with one's life on the line, being used sort of as a noun here, which we obviously converted away from a noun. We sort of converted it into sort of like an action, like an active verb. I don't know linguistic terms. Don't cite linguistic terms to me. Or actually, if you know the linguistic terms, tell me, because then I will get to learn it. But so 日本人はめったに経験しない which most Japanese people never get to experience. It's sort of what it is here, but then we never got to experience it. Sort of, we're changing the tenses to match the rest of the sentence. So this sentence had quite a lot of sort of shuffling around, basically, you can say. But it's all good. はい、教室に閉じ込め本性をむき出したテロリスト君に素早く反応し対応できたのはそのおかげだろう。Thanks to this, she was able to react quickly. When the terrorist locked her in the room and exposed his true colors. 個室に閉じ込め本性をむき出したテロリスト君。Again, this is sort of written in the Japanese as a noun or like the main thing is terroristo-kun, right? Like as used as a noun. And then this is all like sort of as an adjective, sort of like to describe him. Like the object is the terrorist, right? But then like in English we change it where we're not saying that she's reacting to the terrorist. We're saying that she's reacting to this situation. So again, we changed it up a little bit. 完璧に不意を突かれたエビセントは格が違う。She was in a completely different dimension from Ebise, who had been completely taken by surprise. ちょっと疑ってたしね。ちょっと疑ってた。So, Miko-chan had been sort of suspicious of the terrorist, which makes sense because the guy has a gun, obviously, and he's taking them to an empty classroom. When a guy with a gun invites you to an empty classroom, generally, it's hot take, listen to me. Hot take, right? Generally, you don't really follow him. Like, that's usually not a good idea, you know. だから教室の照明スイッチ入れて、That was why she had turned the lights on in the room. Make it's easier for her to use her. What did we say was the name of her ability? What was it that we decided on? Here, let me see. References, glossary, secret order. Oh no, you guys see my email. Erobokinesis. All these weird words. はい。一方、ババアを強振するテロリスト君はミキオちゃんが超能力者だと知らされていない。超能力者が紛れていることは知らされているが、それが誰か、どんな能力なのかは分かっていない。On the other hand, the terrorist that Baba had converted into a fanatic had no idea that Mikio-chan was an Esper. Well, this one's pretty straightforward, right? Ippo's on the other hand, Babaを強振するテロリスト。So this sort of makes it sort of like the terrorist is a fanatic of Baba, right? But that's sort of awkward to say in English. So let's just say, you know, the terrorist that Baba had converted into fanatic. It gets across. It gets across the point. はミキオちゃんが超能力者だと。So much there's to say about why, you know, forget it. ミキオちゃんが超能力者だと知らされていない。He was not informed. Had not been informed that Mika-chan was an Esper. 超能力者が紛れていることは知られているが、he had been told that there were Espers among the students, but no details had been given regarding specifically who it was and what he or she could do. Okay, a pretty simple one also. So let's move on. だからミキオちゃんの影が立ち上がり殴りかかってきたのを見たテロリスト君はすでガチビビりしたし、悲鳴を上げて発砲した。Bang, bang, bang. It's a bit worrying that terrorist-kun became a Baba fanatic given her appearance. Well, you know. 世界の真理. We have a phrase for that, right? A principle of the world. A truth of the world. No, she's legal, okay? She's legal. She's over 900 years old. So imagine, oh dear. I feel like we're entering very dangerous territory here, but he's a fanatic of Baba, and she converted all the terrorists into being a fanatic of her. So during the process, basically it was she had to be this, right? So imagine Baba being this. Oh dear. Oh dear. だからみきおちゃんの影がOkay. Was why actually freaked out when Mikio-chan's shadow rose and started swinging. He screamed and started firing away. Those are blanks though. Like his guns were blanks. Can you mass fire blanks? Can you like I've seen YouTube videos where it's like machine guns going like but like if it's blanks, can you I don't know how guns work. Or is it just like one like bang? Honestly, I don't know. 無理もない。顔色が悪く、ちびで見るからに病弱そうな頼りない少女が突然影の怪物を召喚したらそりゃあビビる。プルプル震えるハムスターを捕まえようとしたらいきなりゾンビが現れ襲いかかってきたようなものだ。ホラー以外の何者でもない。He could hardly be faulted. He could hardly blamed. Mikio-chan had terrible face color? That's not right. Let's go. His face was pale. And sickly. She was a squirt. She was a chibi. If only I can use the word chibi in translations, I would love it. I love chibi. I really like chibi illustrations. Like so that's also kind of why I prefer Nendoroids over like actual figures. Well, part of that is also because they're cheaper. Mikio-chan had, let's go like had a Frozen Square and short, tiny girl with a pale face who was clearly sickly. Sickly and unreliable. 頼りない. I feel like unreliable sort of means something else, right? Like cannot be depended upon just because, you know, like because she's sick, not because, you know, she's an asshole. Well, I mean, Mikio-chan sort of is an asshole, but that's Like, she just says things. She doesn't mean it, you know. None of these look fragile. Let's go fragile. Sickly and fragile. Beautiful. Yes. Perfect word for it. Clearly looks sickly and fragile. Suddenly called forth a monster. Monster made of shadows. Anyone would freak out. Okay. それはビビる. Okay, so obviously we broke this off into its own sentence. Because otherwise it would be like everyone would freak out if or from how or whatever, and then we would have to sort of connect it to the rest of this, and that's just, you know, there's no point. I wouldn't say there's no point. It would make the sentence longer, and because it's longer, it's more convoluted, you know. Because we can break it, let's break it. Generally, if you can break it, then break it. Yay. What's invalid? Oh, you mean who looks sickly and invalid? Oh. That's fine. I'll stick with fragile. It was like trying to catch a quivering hamster, quivering with fear, and then suddenly finding yourself being attacked by a zombie. This was the true horror right there. Okay. Suddenly finding yourself being attacked by a zombie. Like, honestly, like, what do you guys think of when you see the word zombie now? Because when I see the word zombie, I only think of Minecraft now. Because I'm so... Generally, I'm really easily scared of things. I'm so scared of most things. So, like, I make an effort to sort of steer away from actual zombie stuff. So, for me, the only sort of interaction or the only zombies that I really hear of are from Minecraft. There's a big delay. Yeah, YouTube chat does that. Don't worry about it. もちろんパニック状態で撃つ弾丸が当たるわけがない。当たってもどうせ空砲なのだが、とにかく反響欄の発表は外れた。Of course, the shot fired in blind panic was not going to hit, was not going to land, was going to miss, you know? Let's make it positive instead of negative, right? And instead of not going to land, let's just go is going to miss. And even if it landed, it was... The shot was a blank. This is a blank, right? This is a blank. Like, do blanks land? Are blanks actually fired, or does it just make the sound and nothing happens? I mean, I imagine if it actually shoots something, like a cartridge or something, and actually lands on people, it would still hurt, right? You know what? Let's Google it. What are blanks? It's a firearm cartridge that generates a muzzle flash, so it makes the flash, and explosive sound, so it makes the boom. And the firearm experiences a recoil capable of recycling its action, but without shooting a projectile. So it doesn't actually shoot anything. Okay. Alright. What happens to this thing though? While blanks are less dangerous than live ammunition, they are far from harmless. Besides the hot combustion gases, any objects in the cartridge itself, like wadding or bullet-shaped plug, or the barrel, will be propelled at high velocity and cause injury at close range. So it becomes a close-range weapon. That hits you. Blank cartridges. Okay, whatever. That's something else. I mean, what happens to this? Does it just fall on the ground? Like, you know what? Whatever. It's fine. Explodes, but no projectile, if I remember correctly. All right. So I mean, in that case, then this line doesn't. This line doesn't make sense. This line is not me. Okay, it's out there. Whatever. Ataru wake ga nai. So that means land. That's actually land in the context of a gun. Atatte mo douse kuhon nano daga. You know what? Let's sort of fix this a little bit. Yep, I think that sort of did it better, right? Because now this sort of it sort of injects a little bit of what do you call it? Vagueness, right? It's sort of talking in general sense. Like it makes this sentence be like a general thing, right? So just a shot fired in blind panic was going to miss, obviously, right? And in the first place, he was using blanks. So so this doesn't make it sound like this, which is like atattemo dose. Even if it lands, it's a blank anyways. You know, like so we sort of shift it around a little bit, so it makes a bit more sense. I do this kind of stuff in translations every once in a while when with this is sort of, for me, like this is like within the limit of what I'm okay with. Like if something is like blatantly wrong and then the story runs with it, then obviously I would translate it wrong I would directly translate the incorrect information and, you know, continue with it, because, you know, there's no choice. The story runs with it. But otherwise, if it's not like if it's not crucial to the story and it's slightly off, I would sort of like reword it a little bit to introduce some sort of like vagueness or into the sentence, so it doesn't sound wrong, you know. Because in this case, you know, case filled with power to make similar light and sound to fire a real projectile, just, you know, without the projectile. Still dangerous if close to your skin, since it's still gunpowder explosion. So basically, it's dangerous just to you, not to anyone else. It becomes a self-harm thing. Wouldn't it mean something like, even if aimed properly, the terrorist was using blanks? Let me see. No, see, aiming is a different word from ataru. Ataru means to actually make contact. Aiming will sort of be like, see, 照準を決めるとか、ちゃんと狙ってる。ね、その狙い、その穴、ignore the 穴。狙い、そう、狙おう。To aim at. So that's the word for aiming. So it's not the word for aiming. It's the word for actually making contact. So in this case, this is wrong. So I mean, if it was the word for aiming, it would be correct. Right? So either way, something has to be changed. Either this has to be changed and I translate according to the changed version, which is to aim, or I change it in the translation. So either way. In any case, panicked sort of 発砲 panic. It auto corrected it for me. The panicked shots went wide. Let's do that. Instead, 外れた means to miss, right? The panic shot missed. I don't want to use the word miss again, so let's go went wide. 大混乱のテロリストみきおちゃんは影です。すっぽり包み込み、500ミリリットルペットボトルを持ち上げるのがやっとの貧弱パワーで全身をモニモニし始めた。外から見るとテロリストがうごめく影に包まれ、すずましい悲鳴を上げているひどい絵面だ。Yep, okay. It's okay. Interesting. Mikyo-chan used her shadows to entirely envelope the 大混乱 confused. He's panicking. He's panicking. Let's go with panicked. They're terrified. Yeah, let's go terrified. Okay. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. No. Hysterical? Yeah, let's go hysterical. Because he's screaming. You'll see. I mean, like the rest of the sentence describes him as screaming. So, to envelope the hysterical terrorist from head to toe. Although which were only strong enough to lift a 200 ml bottle of water. Money. And squish him all over? How do you describe money? Money is sort of like how do I describe it? Not helpful. It's squishy. It's sort of like when you squish something, like a stress ball, right? Like if you have a stress ball, I don't know if that's still a thing in this day and age. So if you have a stress ball and you sort of like use it, like that motion, that action is called moni moni. Who pinged me? Okay, it's fine. Just a retweet. To envelope and start. How do you call it? Massaging him all over. Yes. From a third person's point of view, 外から見ると terrorist looked like the terrorist. How do I describe it? 外から見ると it would be like from a third person's point of view. Fine, that's easy. テロリストがうごめく影に包まれ Basically, he's bored. Basically, he got bored. Combine that with his screams, and it made for one very disturbing scene indeed. Okay, so what happened here is 外から見ると ugomeku kage. So I really wanted to include the ugomeku. So ugomeku being this, right? Sort of like wriggling, squirming, right? But then here it talks about him screaming. So the thing is, the first subject is the shadow, and it is a wriggling shadow. And then there's another subject where it's the terrorist who is screaming. So you could sort of make the subject the scene and then sort of combine both of them, but from a third person's point of view, this was a scene. Let's try to combine it. Let's see if it works. I seriously need context. Terrorist firing blanks, getting bored by a shadow summoned by a tiny girl. You really do. You. From a third person's point of view, well, I mean, if you want, the previous chapters are all up on the website, and it's absolutely free to read. So if you have like an hour or two, go pick it up. The website is in the description. I have the website in the description. This is currently chapter 2, so we're almost nearing the end of this volume. So from a third person's point of view, this was a very disturbing scene involving a terrorist being bored by a wriggling black shadow and screaming at the top of his lungs. You know, actually, this sort of works. This actually sort of works. Which one do you guys prefer? From a third person's point of view, it looked like the terrorist got bored by a wriggling black shadow. Combine that with his screams, and it made for one very disturbing scene indeed. Or, from a third person's point of view, this was a very disturbing scene involving a terrorist being bored by a wriggling black shadow and screaming at the top of his lungs. I actually like both of them. Both are pretty much, and they're pretty much the similar length. It didn't actually really do much. I'll leave it for now. You guys, tell me which one you prefer. 全身をふんわりマッサージされているだけで、ダメージはゼロになるのだが、テレスは空砲を闇雲に打ち尽くし、喉が枯れるほど叫び失神していた。Although he was only being massaged and not actually taking any damage. Being hurt. We're split. Okay, I'll leave it up for a little while longer. Let's see if this second sentence sort of helps better to makes it easier to sort of see the flow. Although he was only being massaged and not actually being hurt. The terrorist still continued firing his gun. Yamikumo ni recklessly, blindly. All over. You know what? Still continued emptying his chamber. Yeah, his magazine. Yeah, I'd prefer that. Shouting until he grew hoarse and basically he pissed himself. Shouting until he grew hoarse and pissing himself. Let me see. Okay, take back. The first one feels more natural. I just noticed that the document says volume 6 while your page and video title says volume 5. It's volume 5. My bad. My bad. It's Black Summer as volume 6 right now. My bad. Alright, it looks like we have a winner. First one it is then. Although he was only being massaged and not actually taking damage, the terrorist still continued emptying his magazine, shouting until he grew hoarse, and pissing himself. Terrorist is having a bad day. This was... So this is saying this is terrifying. This is terrifying. Hold on. これは怖い。俺はみきおちゃんの影が攻撃力ほぼゼロのクソ雑魚、ナメクジパワーしかないと知っているからのんきに眺めていられるが、何も知らないテロリストはそれはもう死ぬほど怖いだろう。人知を超えた影の化け物が襲いかかってきて食われて目の前が真っ暗になって何も見えなくなり、噛み砕く前に下でなぶられているといった心境だろうか。いや、怖えよ。俺がこれやられたら発狂して全方位ネ肉ぶっ破する自信あるぞ。how should like this was terrifying. I feel like we sort of need not to sort of link it, but we'll see. 俺はみきおちゃんの影が知っているから because I know that Mikio-chan's shadow power edible kinesis has like it can do 0 damage and it's a Kusozako power whatever because I know that so I can watch sort of nonchalantly. So のんきに眺められている。So in that case, let's flip it. I could watch on. Watch on nonchalantly, only because I knew that Mikio-chan's power was okay. This is a whole lot of waruguchi. It's a whole lot of this random shade. ほぼ0の攻撃力ほぼ0. So that means almost let's list it out. Let's list out all the insults. 0 damage. 攻撃力. So that's you know how much damage you can do, right? How much attack. ほぼ0. Almost 0. クソ雑魚 So trash. ナメクジ is a slug. Power. That's power. I don't think it shows power. So power is used here, so that's fine. Basically, shitty. Shitty slug with almost 0 攻撃力. Can I do it directly? Offensive ability. Yeah. I could watch on nonchalantly only because I knew that Miko-chan's power was nothing more than a shitty slug with almost 0. Seems weird to call it a slug, right? It seems weird to call her power a slug. の影が攻撃力ほぼ0のクソ雑魚ナメクジパワー。 I could watch it nonchalantly because I knew that Mikko-chan's power. Hey Jensen, how are you doing? My imagination matches the description perfectly. Imagine this. I'm not into war, just saying. I don't like. That's not a thing I'm into. Because I knew, or we can be nice and I don't know about whether it's nice or not. We can sort of get rid of the insult, right? I could watch on nonchalantly only because I knew how shitty and weak Mikko-chan's power was. You know what? I think I'll do that, and I'm cutting out the weird slug reference. Kusozaku namekuji power ってどういう意味? Or unless is this a meme? Is this a meme? Kusozaku namekuji. Fuck me, it is a meme. Oh fuck me. Kusozaku namekuji が頑張るレインボー6シーン Power K Dog. It is a meme. Oh my god. 誰これ? Who is this? Slow Loris のこと。Sorry, wait, what? I'm sorry. クソザコナメクジとはこれ。Give me this. What is this? 陰夢くん。陰夢くんに対する別称である。クソザコレスラーやクソザコ委員長、クソザコブロッコリーなどの派生版が存在する。It's a meme. How are we gonna do this? Oh, fuck me. I also think a slug is a harmless wriggling creature. Maybe that's why it's described as such. Yes, it is. I'm having trouble trying to imagine how to incorporate this. It's a meme. I think pretty much us translators is the only people that you'll see who's just lamenting about memes. Like, people don't really lament memes, do you? People don't normally look at a meme and go like, it's a meme, and cry. But you see me cry. I think translators are the only people who cry when we see memes. What do I do with this? Actually quite liked what I had here, you know, because I can get rid of the weird slug reference. Look. Worst case, we still go with this and fuck the meme. Is there a counterpart meme in English for weak? Like weak ass or like weak sauce, or I feel like that's probably boomer now, right? Is there a meme in English for that I can replace specifically this with? That means weak. Am I gonna regret this? Urban Dictionary. Weak. The eternal hell. How would I translate cultural reference meme into something understandable for a foreign? Pretty much. Not even the top interpreters dare to touch memes. No. Sleepers. How's this related to meme? Okay, no, it's a word of the day. I don't want definitions of the word weak. I want other words that sort of mean the same thing as weak. Does it not give me this? It does not give me this. Shit was weak. It apparently does not. You know what? I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it. Fuck this, man. Fuck the meme.眺めていられるが何にも知らないテロリストはそれはもう死ぬの怖いな。From the terrorist perspective, as someone who had no idea what was going on, of course it was frightening. Not a single meme comes to mind. Scrub. Look for synonyms of weak. See, if I look, that would give me a proper word. I want a meme, right? Like proper thesaurus are not gonna give me memes. That's that's not how it is. Scrub. How scrubby? Because I knew that Mikio-chan's power was a scrub. I feel like it doesn't quite work. No. I'm sorry, no. I could watch on nonchalantly only because I knew how shitty and weak Mikio-chan's power was. The terrorists who did not know that scared the shit. Sorayamo was scared to death. You know what? Let's keep a shit list. No particular reason. I just prefer it. 人知を超えた影の化け物が襲いかかってきて食われて目の前が真っ暗になっても何 A monster beyond 人知を超えた人知 human intellect, human knowledge. Beyond human intelligence. This beyond human understanding. I like that. Beyond human understanding had he had found himself suddenly assaulted and swallowed by a monster beyond human understanding. with his vision going completely dark. His vision had gone completely dark, and it felt like he was being rode around. Rode around by a tongue before eventually. There's another word I'm thinking of. Eventually being kamikudakareta. Eventually being basically chewed alive. Ultimately. Felt like he was being rolled around by a tongue before. What was surely the fate of being. There's a better word than chewed, isn't there? I'm sort of imagining Attack on Titan right now, which I only watched for season 1 of, which is basically what this guy is, beyond human comprehension. Let me see, beyond human, yeah, understanding, comprehension, same. Before. Of being chewed alive sounds different, right? Because when you're chewing something, you sort of, I know your teeth goes up and down like but there's this sort of like implication that, you know, it's something tough that you keep chewing on, right? Like beef jerky, right? But this is not what it is, right? He's basically afraid of what the Titans do. And then the body's torn apart. And is there a better word for this? Is there a better word for what the Titans do to people in Attack on Titans? Eat them alive. So eating alive is not exactly describing the actual action itself. Is this describing what's happening overall? But I want a word for devoured, chomped on, crushed, chomping, gobble, devour. So gobble and devour don't really work because that's sort of like it's too general. Chomping. That looks weird, I feel like. You know what? Here's an idea. Let's look for descriptions on what your molars do. What do your molars do? To grind, tear, and crush food. ground and torn apart by teeth. His vision had gone completely dark, and it felt like he was being rolled around by a tongue before what was surely a fate of being ground and torn apart by teeth. I feel like that's the best we got. Yeah, I think that's the best we got. And this one we are sort of, I think we can skip to ita shinkyo. Shinkyo means sort of state of mind, right? Mental state, right? So basically this part is saying like this was his mental state. And we don't really need to say it's blah blah blah. It felt like he was being rode around by time, blah blah blah, and this was his mental state, you know. I feel like we don't really need that in English, do we? Because we just got done describing what his mental state was. Alright, let's move on. いや、怖えよ。俺これやられたら発狂して全員保位念力ぶっ破する自信あるぞ。Damn. Yeah, that's terrifying. I want a different word because I already used terrifying. Terrifying. Yeah, okay, that's terrifying. Yeah, that's scary. Let's just go. If this happened to me, I would 100% start blasting telekinetic blasts every direction. Okay, so that is simple. So here is a word that I might want to talk a little bit about. So buppanasu is the proper word for it, right? Buppanas is the proper word. This sort of means, you know, like to start firing away, you know, sort of like, you know, Iron Man shooting his, you know, well, I guess, well, that onomatopoeia was more for Spider-Man, but but you know, like, so that's the word for like that's buppanas is the proper verb for it. But then here, it's just two more letters. I don't know why, but somehow Japanese internet decided that it was a good idea to cut out these two letters, so it became just buppa. So that's why here, zenhoi nenriku buppa suru. I mean, it made it into a pseudo verb, so you're still adding the two letters to it. But anyways, you know, buppanasu. Zenhoi buppanasu jishin aru. So that also works. Like if you put in the actual word buppanasu, it also works. But you know, if you see buppa suru, so the buppa is based on this, and it's now a suru verb. So the wonders of internet, right? The marvels of internet. You never understand. Alright, しかし問題決定打がないことだ。みきおちゃんが病弱症状である。貧弱で格闘経験なんてないし、護身用のスタンガンとかナイフとかそういうものも持っていない。テロリストを影で包んでモニモニするところまでは素晴らしく素早かったが、その後にどうすればいいのかわからないといった様子でまごまごしている。 しばらく迷っていたみきおちゃんは、教室の椅子をふらつきながら持ち上げ、影に包まれて暴れているテロスの頭と思われる位置にもっさりボリを振り下ろした。However, what happened? However, we were now at a standstill. みきおちゃん病弱症者である。みきおちゃん was weak and sickly. Was sickly and weak. Whatever. She had no experience with martial arts, and she did not have a stun gun or a knife. Any self-protection tools. Such as a stun gun or knife. So okay, why why is a stun gun is a self-protection tool? I understand that. Why is a knife a self-protection tool? Does a knife really count as a self-protection tool? Really? I feel like most people wouldn't be able to use a knife to protect themselves because you don't know how to use it. Stun gun is easy. Right? You click the button, as long as you can push it against the person, you win. That's fine. and they're just like, and it would presumably be knocked out. A knife is much more technical, isn't it? That's why people learn how to fight with knives. You have to learn how to do it. Is that really a self-protection tool? Anyways, whatever. Whatever. See, the thing with knives is if you're not careful with it, or if you don't know how to use it, one, you can't use it effectively. So maybe you can't actually use it to protect yourself. But two is you can accidentally go too far with it because you don't know what you're doing, right? You can accidentally, you didn't mean to, but you accidentally actually stabbed a guy, something like that. This reminds me of I was watching. So I watch anime when I eat food, right? that's one of those few times when I allow myself to watch stuff. I just picked up the anime called what was the anime called? From last season. Yes, the Full Dive RPG one. Yeah, this one. I just started this one and I finished watching the first 2 episodes. The first episode basically happened like what I just described, right? I mean, it's a bit of a spoiler, but it's first episode, whatever, screw it, right? The guy gets stabbed with a knife, even though he didn't intend it to, right? So, I'm not sure that this is such a good self-protection tool, but here it is, knife. スタンガンとかナイフとかそういうもの持っていない。Any self-protection tools on her? Louise, hey, hi, how are you doing? Buenos días? What does that actually mean? Is this good morning? Good morning. There we go. Yeah. You know what? I should probably do a Duolingo stream someday. I am thinking about it. I am thinking of doing a Duolingo stream someday. I'll probably like start with like English and Japanese just for the comedic factor. I'll see how shitty the app is. I've heard so much about it. I'll probably start with English and Japanese, and then after that maybe I'll start sort of check out other languages. テレスを解列せねモニモニするところまで素早かった。Reacted very quickly in enveloping the terrace, in wrapping the terrace up, and starting the what do we do for the money? Massaging. But then now seemed at a loss for それはどうすればいいのか What to do? わからない No idea といった様子でもごもごしているまごまごしている My bad was at a loss So yes it would seem at a loss for what to do next. Wanna bet you know more Spanish than me, Taija. There's no way, man. I know no Spanish. There's no way I know more than you. Okay, all the Spanish I know. Here, you want to do this? Let's do this. Let's do this. All the Spanish I know is buenos dias, good morning, and gracias, that's thank you. What else do I know? Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Or is it mucho? I cannot remember. I don't know. Come on, man. There's no way you know less than this, man. There's no way you know less than this. What else do I know? I don't know anything else. Oh, right. Hola. That's hi. Okay, everybody knows hola. Hola. That's all I got, man. I think Kaijo sort of taught a swear word before, like el putas. El putas. That's idiot, right? Right, adios. That's goodbye. And some swear words, the essentials. See, if you know swear words, then you know more than me. Because this is the only swear word I know. しばらく迷っていたみきおちゃんは教室の椅子をふらつきながら持ち上げ、影に包まれて暴れているテレスがたまと思われる位置をまっさり振られる。After迷っていた。After being lost. Yes. After hesitating, after being sort of after thinking about it. Hesitating shortly. Mikio-chan grabbed one of the chairs in the room and brought it over with tottering steps, with staggering steps. Then she brought it down on the head. She thought the terrace head was. Then she brought it down a part of the wriggling, shadowy mass where she thought the terrace head was. Yep. Okay. When in doubt, grab a chair. もちろん、こんな貧弱な攻撃で人は倒せない。ヘルメットかぶってるし。Of course. No one. Out. First place, the man was wearing a helmet. Ga, それでは話が進まないので、椅子の命中と同時に連絡で殴って強制ノックアウトした。イベント中タリア戦闘だからね。さっさと行こう。However, the plot wouldn't progress. However, I needed the plot to progress. So I used telekinesis to give him a powerful same moment the chair landed to forcibly remove him from the story. 強制ノックアウト。Well, I mean, ノックアウトは全部強制だろうか。To force him, to coerce him into being knocked out. I mean, like, being knocked out is by definition not intentional. By definition, someone has to do it to you. You don't do it to yourself. To forcibly remove, let's keep this. To forcibly remove him from the story. Let's go this. はい。イベント中される戦闘だからね。After all, this was just a fight in the tutorial stage. Let's keep things moving. Sasate go. Let's move on. I'm thinking, should I make this a thought? After all, this is just a fight in the tutorial stage. Let's keep things moving. Yep, okay, let's do that better. Because I wanted to keep this in sort of this tense, and the way to keep it in present tense is to make it a thought. Did I knock him out? 倒した。倒れて動かなくなったテロリストから影を戻し、ミキオちゃんは疑わしげにつぶやいた。ミキオちゃん、sort of retrieved her shadows, or pulled her shadows back, called her shadows, Mikio-chan called the shadows back and peered at him. Utagawa-shige, doubtfully, suspiciously. So let's go warily. それから距離を取ってじるじる見た後、椅子でもう一度頭を殴った。しゃねえな。After observing him from a distance for a while longer, after closely observing him from a distance for a while longer, she lifted the chair on his head one more time, just to be sure. Be sure. Okay, I added that, but I don't want that anymore because I want to use the word sure here. You sure are merciless. Well, long. That will happen. Well, longer. So lifted the chair and brought it down on his head one more time. Sure is much. テロリストが動かないことを確認したミキオちゃんは真っ先にエビセンの安易確認をした。ひざまついて脈を取り呼吸を確かめる。そうして大事ないこと、そうして、I hate this word. I hate this word because it can be read as 大事 or 大事。そうして大事ないことを確認してほっと息を吐いた後、不安そうにテロリストのボディチェックを始めた。Okay, let's see. The first thing that Mikio-chan did once she was sure the terrorist was out cold was go check on Ebisen. She kneeled down and checked his pulse, and breathing. So like this sort of really, I like this touch because it sort of gets home the fact that like she grew up in a hospital, like she knows how to do this sort of stuff. Like I wouldn't know how to. Do you guys know how to check your pulse? Cause I don't. Like I know you put 2 fingers on your wrist, right? I can't really feel it. Oh no, I found it. Oh no, yep, I found my pulse. Do you guys know how to check your pulse? I know you can do it under your neck too, but the one under your neck is so much harder to check, isn't it? Oh no, I found it also. Never mind. I'm spouting a lot of bullshit today. Under the neck is easy. I know there's a certain BPM that's considered stable. Well, I mean, everybody has a different stable BPM. It has a different natural resting BPM. And If it's too high, then you're unhealthy, you know, because it means your heart is pumping too hard. It's trying to pump. The oxygen exchange is not going well, so that's why your heart is trying to get more red blood cells to the cells. I've tried and found nothing. A better question though is how does an angel have a pulse? Oh, you mean me? Well, I don't know. I mean, angels have blood too. We're blood and flesh, or else, you know, how can I type? I have fingers, and I can type. It's the first thing I feel when I drink too much caffeine. I mean, that's not like. Do you mean like after you drink caffeine, then you take your own pulse, or like after you drink caffeine, you can sort of feel it sort of pulsing in your neck? You can feel the blood pulsing through your neck. Which one? Because I have that too. Some like not specifically caffeine or anything. It's just every once in a while. Sometimes, like when I don't even know what triggers it, but sometimes I just really feel the blood sort of in my ear also. I don't know. It's so weird. Blood is weird. After I drink coffee, I sometimes feel my heart pumping. Ah, yes, that happens. Chest compressions, chest compressions, chest compressions. I don't know if you guys get the reference. Alright. そうして大ことないことを確認して。She sighed, with relief. Confirming that he was fine. Confirming that he was fine and sighing with relief. She then 不安そう anxiously, uneasily, cautiously. Guardedly. Went over to hat. Terrace down. I don't really like that we have two afters, but I'll look at that in post. Screw that. Yeah. 所持品はコンバットナイフ、空砲20発、実弾と書かれた、what do you call this? What do you call this? Is this a magazine or is this like a clip? の入った空砲20発、携帯食料、救急品セット、無線機、作戦計画書。計画書ある。probably a magazine, right? Probably. Okay. Turned out to have a combat knife, 20 rounds of blanks, 20 rounds of live ammunition, blanks in magazines marked as live ammunition. Rations, emergency kits. Ooh, this is walkie-talkie. A wireless. Transceiver. Let's go to that. Transceiver. And 作戦計画書 and the plans for their and their okay, here we go. Copy of the plans of their operation. I think that's fine. See, it's funny, like this is very RPG, isn't it? In RPG, after you defeat an enemy, sometimes you get plans for what they're doing, and you kind of like then the quest sort of directs you somewhere else. But this wouldn't actually happen in real life, would it? In real life, if you're a terrorist, you wouldn't walk around with operation plans. You would sort of like have briefing before the operation where they make sure that you understand the plans, but you're not supposed to write it down, is it? ミキオちゃんは気絶したテロリストを横目で警戒しつつ、それっぽくメモ書きが入った作戦計画書を読み始めた。Start reading through it. While keeping wary. IRL enemy drops. Pretty much. It really is, isn't it? It's like there's random shit here too. That's 作戦計画書にはテロリスト役の警備員たちを制圧し、成り代わって学校に侵入すること、そして芦野原学園に通う有力者の市場を人質に取り、身代金を身代金を集めて海外に高飛びすることが書かれていた。The paper went into detail describing how the terrorists would overcome would suppress 制圧 control mastery ascendancy supremacy. Let's go capture the real guards who were supposed to play the role and take their place to infiltrate the school by taking their place. They would then kidnap the children of with influential parents, demand ransoms for all of them, and then flee overseas. The paper went into detail describing how the terrorists would describing the terrorists' plan to capture the real guards who were supposed to play the role and infiltrate the school by taking their place. They would then kidnap students with influential parents, demand ransoms for all of them, and then flee overseas. Such a normal plot. Such a cliche plot. Or mugging. Whoa, we're muggers. What do muggers do? Mug people. Yeah, let's go mug them. 最後まで読んだみきおちゃんは最初から読み直し、さらにもう一度読み直した。After reading the plan through, Mikio-chan gave it another read. Then she read it a third time. そして制服のポケットからスマホを取り出し、震える指で110を押す。が、ダメ！電話は繋がらない！Only then, I want to use then here, but I already used it here. After reading the plan through, Mikio-chan gave it another read. Then a third read. No, that still used the word then. Then she read it a third time. She pulled her smartphone out and, with a shaking hand, dialed. Should I do this or should I do this? Is it 911 for America? 911. Porsche Carrera. No, that's not it. Police. Is that what you guys have it? In 911 police. There we go. You know what? I am activating my rights. I wouldn't say rights. My ability as of this being my privilege. Yes, privilege. I'm activating my privilege of this being a translation, and I'm keeping it as 110. Let's do that. 911 is emergency number. Because I think in Hong Kong it's 999, I think. Okay, that's the UK. 999. What's the Hong Kong? No, I don't want to search this. I don't want this to remain in my search history. However, Oh no! There's no connection! 電波妨害機1機当たり4980円を校内全域に仕掛けてあるからな。冠城さん主導で各教室に設置されたエアコンの中に仕込まれているとは想像できない。校庭にはスプリンクラー荷物のついでに埋めたし、その他耐震工事や電気工事にかこつけて設置してある。なおもったいないからイベント終了後に回収する予定。Okay. The reason was because electronic jammers go price. $45. Had been installed all over the school. No one would imagine no one suspected that the air conditioners installed in every classroom had been, I wouldn't say outfitted with jammers. What did I say? That's not quite the right word for it. Anime thighs is the last thing in my search history. What are you doing, Louise? What's the last thing in my search history? Am I gonna regret this? You know what? I'll check it myself and I'll see if I'm gonna regret this. Otherwise, I can show you guys what's in my search history. Okay. I don't mind showing you guys my search history because it's basically everything that we did on stream. So, that's the thing. That's you guys saw this. You guys saw this. That's the words, all the words, the random Spanish, the anime that I mentioned. Words, all the words. Weak. That's fine. That's all I'm showing. Let me see. Have been installed all over the school. The reason being. I see you're a man of culture as well. Why would you search it though? Or do I want to know? Don't want to know. I'm not sure I want to know. I mean, like, you get to see anime size all the time. Like, I don't know, man. I rarely search up that sort of stuff, unless if it's for like when I'm translating. I mean, because you get to see it all the time, anyways. I mean, they're nice. They're very nice. They're cultured. But like, you can just scroll through Twitter, and you just scroll through Twitter, and you see plenty of it. You see thighs, you see boobs, you see lollies. Just scroll through whole live fan art Twitter, and you see plenty of it. Nothing beats Flair's thighs. Alright, David. Sure. However, no, there was no connection. Reason was because let's go this. Was because electric jammers have been installed all over the school. Some were hidden inside the air conditioners, newly installed. I wouldn't say install then. Let's go set up. Or is there another word for install? Installして have been positioned. Let's go set up. Set up. Up. All over the school. Some have been hidden inside air conditioners newly installed in every classroom. Some were buried in the ground. Buried in the ground while the new sprinklers have been installed again. I don't want to use the word install again. Let's go. Sprinklers in the renewed, upgraded. Let's go. Let's do that. Yeah. Places. Planted. Yeah, sort of. It planted all over. Planted. Yes, I like that. Very nice. Ever since I started drawing, my name and history has now become besmirched. Ever since I started drawing, my name and history has now become besmirched. I see. As reference for a drawing. I see. Now that makes sense. That makes sense then. I suppose in that aspect, artists are sort of like translators then, I suppose. In that you have to look up weird random things. That is going to mess up your search algorithm. But you know, it's fun to. I mean, I wouldn't actually like. I was gonna say it's fun to look at how weird your search history is, but I mean, I wouldn't actually sit down to look at my search history and go and laugh at it. I have much better things to do, but I mean, I suppose it makes for a fun topic. And modified. I wouldn't say they were modified. So, この間スプリンクラーリポツ。My bad. So clearly, so I'm assuming that they had sprinklers before, because it would be weird for a field to not have sprinklers at all. So now here it's talking about like putting in the sprinklers. So I'm assuming it's new sprinklers, right? So it's upgraded, I suppose, or renewed. Replaced. Yeah, maybe replaced. How to color anime boobas. That's actually pretty deep, isn't it? That actually takes technique, wouldn't it? I imagine. I don't know how to draw at all, but like some people color the boobs really, really well. Really well. You know, hey. This illustration was done by Hyde. So the vampire dude on Twitter. You can see if I this guy. Okay, so he's the one who did it. Look at that. Very well done. Super well done. So I suppose it does make sense that you would have to look it up. And you have to look it up and you have to sort of learn how to do this kind of stuff, isn't it? I mean, not just the boobies, right? It's all of it, right? Like all the shading. You would have to learn how to do it. But I suppose it does make sense that you would have to sort of look it up, research it, see what people have said, like see what advice people have given, and sort of, you know, improve your thing. Look at these sides. Look at these sides too. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. not on stream at least. その他resistant to earthquakes. 耐震工事. So work. Soにかこつけて設置してある. Some have been hidden inside air conditioners. Some have been buried in the ground. And some had been installed under the pretense of it. Construction work. What do you call it? Anti-earthquake? Construction work? Making under the pretense of making school building earthquake resistant. There we go. Wonderful. Moshi moshi Ozara police. Why? What did I do that deserves the cops being called, having the cops called on me? Noising. Screw you. No. Well, I mean, yes. Honestly, I appreciate everything, and I appreciate Hyde. なおもったいないからイベント終了後に回収予定. Of course, もったいないから。Because it was time we were because it was もったいない. Because it would be a waste. Because it would be a waste not to. We did plan on retrieving all the jammers after the events. He's innocently just a man of culture. You say it like appreciating thighs is illegal, but it's not, right? At least I'm not saying that I appreciate lollies, which, you know, that's not what I'm saying. I appreciate thighs. I appreciate boobies. That's fine. みきおちゃんはおろおろと教室を歩き回り、教卓に入っていた使いかけのガムテープを見つけてテロリストを縛り上げた。それから教室のドアをそーっと開けて外の様子を伺い、足音を忍ばせて廊下に出る。OK。みきおちゃん is making progress. Good. みきおちゃん、おろおろ。In a fluster. I think it's sort of the one with circled paste around the classroom in a fluster. Eventually finding a half-used roll of duct tape inside the teacher's podium. Is that what it said? Kyotaku, the teacher's lectern. Fine, lectern, whatever, same thing. Gum tape is duct tape, isn't it? Packing tape. Wase, gum tape. Packing tape. Difference between packing tape, duct tape. Is it different? Okay, yeah, it's different. Okay, packing tape then. Okay, use some packing tape. I suppose it wouldn't make sense for a teacher to randomly have duct tape. Honestly, it wouldn't make sense for a teacher to have packing tape either in his lectern. Why would you have packing tape in your teacher's lectern? Actually, no, I probably shouldn't say that. Teachers find themselves needing sort of all sorts of random things in classes. I assume so. I prefer to draw lolis. Finding a half-used roll of packing tape is a teacher's lectern, which she used to tie the terrorist up in. Let's go wrap. Because you don't really tie people up with tape, do you? You do wrap them up though. それから教室のドアをそーっと開けて外の様子を伺い。Then she pushed the door of the room open ever so slowly. Checked that the coast was clear outside. Then足音を忍ばせて then sneaked outside with silent steps. Yes. I'm siding with Fubuki-sama all the way. Hollow for life is just too cute. Hey, I'm not saying that I'm against you. I'm not saying that I'm against you. Is this? I'm not saying the rest of that sentence. Not on stream. Snuck. I like it. 資源寺に救援を求めに行くのかと思いきや、向かったのは教員室だった。対応が常識的だ。縛り上げてあるとはいえ、テロリストの横にエビ線を転がしたままにしておくのはちょっとどうかと思うが。I expected her to go look for Shigeji, but instead, she headed for the teacher's lounge, teacher's office. It was a very 常識的. It made sense. Like, this is common sense. Like, sensible. Sensible choice. Though mixed feelings about how she just left Ebi-sen lying on the floor next to the trussed up terrace. It was a very sensible choice, though I had mixed feelings about how she just left Ebi-sen lying on the floor next to a trussed up terrace. The man's gonna wake up and go like, what the fuck is going on? Wait, what happened to the terrorist's gun? そういえば、銃はどうしたの? Did she grab the gun? She obviously didn't grab the gun, right? Do you guys know how to shoot a gun? Because I don't. I mean, I live in Hong Kong. Guns are not a thing here. Like, at all. I'm kind of curious how it feels. But I mean, I'm not that curious. I'm sort of like curious in sort of like a side thought kind of thing, like random thought. Hey, how is it? Like, I'm not curious enough to where I would like look up how I can go try like firing range in Hong Kong. You know, I don't care that much. I mean, I don't even want to leave my house. 立ち止まって耳を澄まし、時折遠く聞こえる銃声に怯え、曲がり角ではたっぷり時間かけ、2分で行ける道のりを10分かけたみきおちゃんは無事テロリストに見つからずに到着した。なんで銃声があるの? Oh dear. I've shot a 9mm. It's super loud. I don't like it. Feels kind of scary. Does it, huh? Oh dear. Aren't you supposed to wear like muffler thingies when you shoot the gun? Well, I guess that's only at a firing range, right? When they have muffler thingies for you to wear. I mean, outside you wouldn't normally walk around with muffler thingies, I suppose. Talking about guns, I saw this article about this cool person, this cool gun. Yeah, this one. I saw the article about this one. Like, she won the gold medal, right? And then she shoots it with one hand, and the other hand is just... This is so fucking cool, man. Awesome. Love it. Is she Russian? Yeah, okay, Russian star. Vitalina. Shooting with one hand. How do you do this? How do you be this cool? I don't know, man. Do you have to do this? Really, man? Oh my god. I guess it's some people just have it. They just have the poise. They just have the coolness. It just is. At the time, there was a dude beside me shooting a magnum that almost gave me a heart attack. Oof. I feel like any loud noise would give me a start. I would be like, whoa! Any loud noise. It doesn't even have to be a gun. So. Stopped to perked her ears flinched every time a gunshot went off in the distance. Waited ages at every corner. And spent 10 minutes. 2分で行ける道のりを10分かけたミコちゃん無事テレスト。Okay, so originally the trip would have taken 2 minutes. So it would have taken 2 minutes to get to the teacher's lounge, the teacher's office. Instead, she spent a total of 10 minutes at it. And she successfully reached her destination without being caught by a terrorist. After spending 10 minutes on a trip that would have normally taken 2 minutes, extra time going towards? Nah, I'm not sure I like how this. How do we include both things into together? How do we put it together? 日本語はいいな。これ全部一つにできる。I mean, I'm sort of jealous of how Japanese can do all this together into one sentence. Though, I mean, I suppose probably a Japanese person would say the opposite thing. Like, oh, I'm jealous of how you can do this in English, you know. Grass is always greener on the other side. A few years ago, 2 people carrying guns came onto my school campus and were firing them off. At people or just up into the sky? Because that sounds very yabai. That sounds very yabai. What happened? I don't want to put her name inside M dashes because after spending 10 minutes on a trip that would have normally taken 2 minutes. See, look, okay, here. So this is the full sentence, and I was thinking of slotting all this information into the middle of it using M dashes. But the question is, how? Because I want to use Mikio-chan here, like as the name. I want to drop her name here. After spending 10 minutes? By spending 10 minutes? So she stopped every once in a while. Okay, Lexus. Stopped every once in a while. To perk her ears. Every time a gunshot, and this. So basically there are 3 things that are being described as things that she has done. My teacher said, if you're quiet, I'll let you play dodgeball. And they were shooting at the police. What? Hold on. No, hold on. It was fine. It meant I got to sleep. What? Okay, no, hold on, Louise. Louise, hold on. Hold on. Everything that you're saying is not connecting, okay? It's not connecting properly. It's not connecting properly. Okay, so you're saying 2 people carrying guns came to your school. Okay. Did your teacher, is it that your teacher talked to the people carrying guns and telling them, if you're quiet, I'll let you play dodgeball? And then they said no. And then they started firing off the guns. And then, but they're shooting at the police. So did the police come afterwards? Like, is it that they came up with guns and then your school called the police and then the police arrived? So before the police arrived, the people with guns just sat around? And while they're sitting around, your teacher went up to them and go like, hey, if you're quiet, you want to play dodgeball? And they said no. And they kept sitting around until the police came and then they started shooting at the police? Or is it that they were already being chased by the police and then they ducked into your school for cover and it continued with, there was already a shootout going on and it continued the shootout while using the school as a cover? And why, if that's the case, how does dodgeball come into this? Or is it that your teacher was telling you and your class, if you stay quiet, I'll let you play dodgeball? But dodgeball is not quiet, is it? Dodgeball is a very not quiet sport. You throw the ball, it hits people, they go, ah! And then the last question is, how does you sleeping come into this? Are you sleeping while playing dodgeball or I'm confused. Okay. Here we go. The police were chasing 2 people carrying guns. The gun people ran into our campus and continued the shootout at school. Okay, so that part now I understand. Okay, and your teacher was talking to you and your class. Okay, so the teacher says, if you stay quiet now, after this, I'll let you play dodgeball. Is that it? Is dodgeball that much of a prize? Is the promise to allow you to play dodgeball enough to keep you guys quiet? Dodgeball. we gotta play dodgeball. Shh. Dodgeball after this. I was in gym class and I just slept on the bleachers while the class played dodgeball. Oh my Kunky Ninja. So you didn't even participate. You didn't even care about the dodgeball. Oh man. His ultimate prize is sleep. Interesting. He didn't care about the stupid dodgeball. I get to sleep, yo. Okay, what if I flipped it around? Eventually, after spending 10 minutes on a trip that would have normally taken 2 minutes, flinching at far away gunshots, and waiting ages at corners. Mikio-chan safely arrived at her destination. After frequently starting and stopping to listen for sounds, flinching at faraway gunshots, and waiting ages at corners, Mikio-chan safely arrived at her destination. Seeing 10 minutes. On this trip, that would normally taken 2 minutes. Mikio-chan safely arrived at her destination. Having used 10 minutes on this trip, that would normally have taken only 2. Something like this, I suppose. Something like this, I suppose. Ooh. Hi. Didn't care about the dodgeball or the shootout. Also, Tashi is stopping, not stopped. Stopping. Sorry. Alright, moving on. 教員室に集まっていた先生方は入ってきたみきおちゃんに顔を見合わせた。若い先生の何かめんどくせえやつ来ちゃったという表情を隠しきれていない。冠城さん、肝入りで入学してきた日の影、みきおは先生の間で夢なのだ。良くも悪くも。教員会議でも時々話題に上る。目で牽制し合い、負けた1年1組の若い担任教師がみきおちゃんに声かけた。The teachers gathered in the office, exchanged looks at Mikio-chan's arrival. A few of the younger teachers failed toめんどくせえやつ来ちゃった。めんどくせえやつ。Annoying. I'm not sure I like this one. I'm not very satisfied with this. Failed to properly hide the look of not disgust. Aversion, not quite. The look of like, oh, come on. I want to change this. Failed to properly hide the look of what? Ideas, please. The look of it's sort of like, oh, come on, really? It's a dislike? It's not quite dislike. It's not hostility, not really any of these. Irritation? Ooh, annoyance. I think we're getting close. To hide the look of annoyance. Yeah, how about annoyance? How about annoyance? It's not quite right, is it? They're not annoyed at her, are they? No, they're not. It's sort of like, oh, come on. I'll leave that for now, but I'll highlight it so that I will work on it in post. I'll think about it in post. 冠城さん肝入りで入閣してきた日の影美京は先生の間で有名なのだ。Who had transferred in under Kaburagi-san's auspices was well known among the teaching staff, both in a good and a bad way, for better or for worse. Teachers meeting. でも時々話題に上る. She came up in the teachers meetings every once in a while too. 目で牽制し合い。牽制し合う. How do we do this? Like, you know, like people like using their eyes and go like, you do it. No, it's like, no, you do it. It's like, what? No, fuck off. No, you do it. How do you describe that in English? How do you describe that in English? Honestly, really. 目で牽制し合う. Exchanging Kensei Shihai, Maketa 1年1組. So the teacher, the young homeroom teacher of year 1 class 1 lost. And so he had to talk to Mikyo-chan. The young homeroom teacher of year 1 class 1 lost the signaling. It's not quite, signaling is not enough. It's not enough. There's a whole thing going on there. Have you guys not done it before? I mean, I haven't actually done it before either, but you know, it appears in dramas and stuff, right? This doesn't make sense though. The eye contest. This sort of gets it across, but I'm not very satisfied with how the teachers tried to shove the task onto each other using their eyes. Using eye language? Is that a word? What? Or I would use your signaling by signaling other with their eyes. Try to shove the task onto each other by signaling each other with eyes. With the young homeroom teacher we are in class 1 eventually losing and ending up having to talk to Mikio-chan. I don't want to do the teachers. Let's just go say those. I wouldn't really want to do that either because this is the first time that we're talking about the teachers. So we do want to clarify that there are teachers gathered in the office. Those present try to shove the task onto each other. Or let's go to the adults. Something like that. It's interesting how we don't have phrases for these kinds of subtle things. It is. I mean, see, that's why I always say, that's why I always recommend people learning, being at least bilingual. At least bilingual. Because my sort of reason for suggesting that people learn languages is always it expands your horizons, right? That's always my go-to explanation, or sort of like, yeah, you should learn a language. It expands your horizons, because it's just different languages have different ways of talking about things, seeing things, and it sort of expands the way you think about things. The faculty. I like that. I like that. Yes. I mean, it's still a bit very direct, but at least it's not completely repetitive. So, yeah, okay, that's fine. 何か用かな? What's the matter? この学校の防犯どうなってんの? What is up with this school security? The teacher asked, what's the matter? And then Mikio-chan first thing is, what is wrong? Okay, what is wrong with this school security? Right in the face. 教員室に入って一斉を取り戻したミキオちゃんがテロリストの計画書を押し付ける。Seem to have recovered her bravado after making it into the teacher's office. Thrust the operation plan she picked up into Mikio-chan thrust the operation plan she had picked up in the teacher's face. Oshitsukeru. Did you hear that? Did you hear my stomach rumbling? I'm hungry. I am hungry. Hungry to press against, to push against, to force against. Sort of, If you have a piece of paper and you go, look at this. It is the plan. It is the certificate or something.ざっと読んだ教師はちょっと面白そうに笑った。ああ。Should I add an however here? I'm just getting through it quickly, however. He chuckled a little. The adult instructional givers. That's so terrible. Eating omurice right now. Mogu mogu. Mogu 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 mogu. Oh, now that's gonna stuck. Now that's gonna stay stuck in your ear, isn't it? That's gonna be an earworm. Hey, you did it to me first. Mogu 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 mogu. Hey, mogu 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 mogu. Hey. What languages do I know? I know English, Japanese. I can speak Cantonese and I can read maybe half of it. And then I know a sprinkling of Korean and Thai. Basically. Very, very, very little. Like I learned, but I forgot most of it. For these two. And then I also took like a year of French in high school, but you know, that's nothing. I don't remember anything I don't remember anything from it. All I remember from it is the the R. A B C D E F G Ish I don't even remember how to pronounce the alphabet. I remembered R though. So it's va instead of au revoir. Bonjour. All I know is enough to make me sound like an asshole who's being overly obsessive with the pronunciation. That's the limit of what I know. I know enough to make me sound like an asshole, but not much more. And so not enough to be productive or conducive in any way. I know enough to say it's a croissant. It's not a croissant. It's a croissant. こう来たか。どうしたんです？テロ役の人も結構怒ってますね。どれどれ？ふむふむ。つまり本物だとの萌えってことでしょうか。Wait, no. Oh, so it's several teachers. There's several teachers. 計画書を押し付ける。ざっと読んだ教師はちょっと面白そうに笑った。You know what? I am going to bring this sentence up because this is saying 教師たちが計画書を囲んでワイワイ意見交換を始める。The teachers gathered around the plan, the operation, the sheet of paper, and started exchanging opinions, having fun exchanging opinions. You know, like. So we do need that context up here before the whole chunk of text, because this chunk of text is the teachers talking among themselves. It's several different teachers. Without the context, it sort of looks like this is the teacher sort of responding to Mikyo-chan, and then maybe Mikyo-chan responding to the teacher, and that is not correct. So let's do this. After scanning through quickly, however, he chuckled a little. Then he showed it to the. Then he passed the paper around to the other teachers. Zeus. どうしたんです? What's this? Let's see. Let's see. どうしたんです? So here it どうした? どうしたんです? It's sort of like what's wrong? What's going on? It's basically just asking. It's something that you ask because something here's things that happen. Then he passed the paper because he's passing the paper around, right? So someone who this is just a generic thing to say, sort of when someone's passing around, you want to take a look. So I'm replacing it with this because this makes it sound. In English, if I ask like, "Oh, what's wrong? It sounds more directional. It sounds more like a one-on-one conversation. So let's just go that. Did you see Rosemi-chan's debut stream? Then he turned and passed the paper around the room to the other teachers. Passed the paper. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it like that. Yeah, okay, fine. Turn and pass the paper around the room. Let's do that. Yes. I do appreciate this. Thank you very much for this because it helps me not have to use the word teacher again. Rosemi-chan's debut stream? No, I did not. I generally don't really watch EN girls, be it Hololive or Niji-sanji. I've mentioned this before, but I don't really have time to watch all that many streams, so I only watch streams that I can translate. And I translate when I watch a stream. So if it's a stream that obviously doesn't need translation, like that's sort of my general image of the EN girls, no matter the company, I don't watch it. Because like I'm not the type of person who can like keep a stream in the background while I work. That's not how my mind works. Like I need to be entirely quiet. I need everything to be entirely quiet. Or I mean, it's not that I need. It's not like. Okay, I think let me reword that. When I work, I tune everything out. So there can be noise in the background. There can be like construction. There can be like a storm. There can be whatever. But I would tune everything out. So in the same way, like I would, if I have a stream on, I would tune it out. So I'm just like, then why bother, right? Like, all the flashing colors and stuff would just bother me. So yeah, I don't really watch the EN girls. I only brought that up because she speaks a little bit of about 6 different languages. That is incredible. That is incredible, man. Whew. I mean, I know Selen. I've seen a few clips of Selen, and she can speak Cantonese. I saw the clip where she was like, "Oh, you want me to speak Cantonese? I don't know what I'm gonna say. I guess I'm gonna say I can speak Cantonese." And she's like, 我識講廣東話. Which I laugh so hard at that because it's the awkwardness. The awkwardness is, I get it so much. Like that happened to me ages, many times. Like right when I was living in Thailand, when I was small and I was living in Thailand, so I was a kid, right? And so like every time people found out like, oh, you know how to speak it's not just Cantonese. I get that quite a lot. It's like, oh, you know how to speak Cantonese. Oh, you know how to speak English. Oh, you know how to speak Japanese. And it's like, oh, say something for me. It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. What do you want me to say? Give me a sentence. And they'll be like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, I don't know either. Fuck you, man. So I really felt it so much when Selen went like, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna say I can speak Cantonese. I said 講廣東話. I had the pain on my chest. Just vicariously. I'm like, I feel for you, girl. But yeah, I don't really know much about the girls. Let's see, テロ役の人も結構買ってますね。Oh, wow. Pretty gung-ho about this too. どれどれ Wait, let me see. Let's go more like, actually, what's this? Because there's let me see down here. Damn it. Dore dore is more like, it's actually like, oh, let me see. つまり本物だと思えってことでしょうか And so this one is like, I see. In other words, we're supposed to pretend like they're the real thing. So obviously I can't do this. I want to. There's a part that makes me want to, but it's like, So in other words, we're supposed to pretend like they're the real thing.「教師たちが計画書を囲んでワイワイ意見交換をし始める。誰も本気にしていない。緊張感のないお気楽な空気にイライラし始めたミキオちゃんに一組の担任が尋ねる。Ooh. Oh, wow. We're very close. There's not a lot left. I mean, this will probably maybe take another hour, probably. Next stream is gonna be short. I should probably think of something to do next stream after I finish translating. Maybe, you know what? Next stream might actually be a good time. You know, I can actually do the Duolingo thing. That would be funny. I would actually have to think about it. This is not a lot left. Hi. Clearly, the teachers seem to be having fun, exchanging opinions on the operational plan. Clearly, none of them were taking it seriously. The 緊張感のないお気楽な空気。緊張感のないお気楽。Easygoing is not quite right, so it's lack of tension in the air, or the lack of tension. Just as Mikio-chan was starting to boil over with irritation at the lack of tension in the air. See, that's not. Carefree reaction. Unconcerned. Still waiting for a Taishi lore stream. I don't know what lore there is. Have you thought of translating EN to JP? No, because that's different. That's very different. Just because I can translate from Japanese to English, it doesn't mean I can translate from English to Japanese. Like, the thing with translation is always, you need to be very, very familiar with the language that you're translating into. And you don't necessarily have to be all that familiar with the language you're translating from. And that's sort of the way with me. I mean, I'm not, I would never say that I'm an expert at Japanese. But conversely, I would say I'm somewhat confident of my skill with English. It's not a skill, is it? Of my familiarity with English. So it doesn't really go the other way around. No, not really. Yep, I think I'm gonna go with carefree. Yep. Does Miko-chan starting to boil with irritation at their carefree reaction? Turn to her again. Untroubled, laid back, carefree, laid back. I think let's just keep it as carefree, and the other ones don't really sound quite correct in the context, I feel like. Well, maybe untroubled does. Is there a different word for untroubled? Can you get a synonym for this? For this, please. Let's go unworried. Unworried and carefree reactions. Yep, okay. Let's do that. Okay, with that said, I think that's where I'm gonna call it. That's where I'm gonna end it today. Because this is a whole thing. This is a whole thing. So that is it for today's stream. Thank you very much for dropping by. Yes. We got around 3 pages of work, which is good stuff. Good stuff. Good progress. Not too many distractions today. So yay. You guys did a bad job of distracting me today. Alright then. Thank you very much for watching today. I hope y'all have a great day. And I will see you again. Tomorrow I have a collab stream. So if you're available, drop by. We'll be playing spy and agent thingies. I'll be playing spy and agent thingies with crispy flippers. And we are probably going to die again. A lot. So should be fun. Alright. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day. Bye.